For 7 years, the mighty Midianites attacked the Israelites. They crushed their crops, killed their cattle, and ruled their land. Terrified, the Israelites hid in cliffs and caves. It felt like God wasn't with them. In their desperation, they cried out for his help. They'd forgotten the God who rescued them from slavery and turned to other gods. Yet even then, he still loved them deeply. Now Gideon was hiding under the branches of an ancient oak tree, threshing wheat safe from Midianite eyes. They couldn't see him, but someone else could. The angel of the Lord appeared and called Gideon, "My mighty warrior." But he didn't feel very mighty hiding. He felt scared and abandoned. But the angel told Gideon he would save his people from the Midianites, and that God was with him. That night, the Lord told Gideon to tear down his father's altar to another god and build a new altar to the Lord. In the morning, the townspeople were furious, but just then, drums boomed across the Jordan River. The Midianites were approaching. But the Spirit of the Lord came to Gideon. He felt God's strength. So he blew a trumpet and summoned the Israelites to form an army of their own. Still, Gideon was nervous. So he asked God for a sign that he really would be with him and able to defeat the mighty Midianites. He laid a fleece down on the ground and asked that the next morning the fleece would be wet with dew and the ground around it dry. The next day, Gideon awoke and squeezed a bowl full of water from the fleece. But Gideon was still afraid. He asked for one last sign, that the fleece stayed dry while the ground was wet. By morning, God had answered him. So Gideon led his 32,000-strong army to the hill above where the Midianites camped below. But God knew that if Gideon won with such a large army, the people would think they had defeated the Midianites by their own strength. They needed to understand that God was with them always. So he gave Gideon a test. Anyone who was afraid could go home. 22,000 men left, leaving just 10,000. But that was still too many. So God told Gideon to watch how the men drank water from a stream. Only those who lacked water, like dogs, could stay. Gideon was left with 300 men. That night, God knew Gideon needed encouraging. So he sent him with his friend to the Midianite camp to listen. There, Gideon overheard a soldier sharing a dream with a friend about a loaf of bread tumbling into their camp and crushing their tents. It meant God was going to hand them over to Gideon. Gideon praised God and rushed back to his camp to rally his 300 men. He picked up his trumpet and lantern and told them to do the same. They silently surrounded the camp on 3 sides. They looked tiny compared to the mighty Midianite army. But God had promised that he would be with them. Then Gideon blasted his trumpet, and all his men shouted, "For the Lord and for Gideon!" They smashed their lanterns and blew their horns, filling the night sky with light and sound. The Midianites were so confused, and in the chaos they turned on each other. Just as the Lord had assured Gideon, he was with him. He saved Israel from the Midianites, and peace reigned again. The Israelites were free once more, and their land was their own. However, when Gideon died, they forgot about God once again. But God would always be with the Israelites, and one day he would send someone to rescue them forever.
Hey there, our goal is to make the whole Bible in Lego stop motion. We're a charity and all our content is free for you to watch, so if you enjoyed this video, we'd love your help making the next one. You can donate towards the project at gochatterstudios.org. Thank you so much for your support.